Welcome, guys, back to the Play On podcast with Jesse and Jerry. This is episode 90. This has been 90 episodes of pure roller coasters, but this one is a peak, Jesse. The hate watch was successful. IMO. Um, Barcelona won easily against Real Betis, and they beat Atletico Madrid midweek. I called it too. It was a 3-1 scoreline. Barcelona was going to concede first, and then they're going to win. And then Real Madrid, they beat and thrashed Athletic Bilbao. What was it, 3-0? And then on the weekend they lose against Celta Vigo, which they haven't lost since 2020, Jesse. I'm telling you, it's at once every 5 years. No, they're not even the last time I think they tied.
Yeah, they haven't beat them in like since early 2000s.
So that at once every 5 years they take away points. So it was a great weekend for me. What about you, Jesse?
How do I describe my weekend? It was awful, Jerry. Yesterday was awful. It was a long day. I woke up, I watched F1. Shout out to Lando Norris, he won. Don't care really. Don't support him. But Real Madrid lost, Bears lost, Blackhawks lost. It was not a good day.
You're also on a very close game in fantasy football to potentially try to make playoffs, right?
Nah, I basically was not gonna make it because I'm behind Ray, and if
All
Ray
right.
won,
He has a
he would have.
game ahead, right?
Yeah, so I was not in it.
You're playing spoiler at least to for someone to go back to back losers champion, if anything.
Yeah, but then my quarterback tore his Achilles.
And the quarterback you benched, who was like doing head back to back bad weeks, right? Decides to have a good game
It wasn't bad. That was awful. He dropped 3 points.
against me.
3 points.
I
As
appreciate
a
you, Sam Darnold.
as a quarterback, how do you drop 3 points? Like that's literally you're throwing on purpose at
This is
that
what it
point.
is. This is handoff, handoff. But yeah, we'll get into the matches right away. I think the big chunk and meat of all of this podcast is going to be Real Madrid. Our Real Madrid expert Jesse's gonna take the reins and just kind of reiterate what's been going on. But more so, there's a question right now of Xabi Alonso potentially being fired. That's the biggest headline. Real Madrid Extra, the famous Twitter handle, is saying, well, he tweeted saying that if Real Madrid lose against Man City this week in the Champions League, that he's gonna get fired. What are your thoughts on that, and what are the chances?
I'd say I still don't believe he gets fired if he loses against them. Well, obviously depending on the score. If it's like a complete thrashing, like maybe like 6-0, something like that, of they might fire him, or more likely than not. I still think depending uh on the result, but most likely he'll also get until next weekend because even if they do fire him, they really don't have any replacements because Zidane is waiting for the France national team, so Perez can't go back to him and just like go for it because he's looking at that job. Someone else that they're looking at is Jurgen Klopp, but he's satisfied in his role as a was it Red Bull consultant or like Rawls
He's like
football
the
side.
sporting consultant or like sporting director or something like that. I think it's sporting director.
Yeah, he's satisfied with the result, and I don't think he would fit into the squad because his style is even more intense than what Xabi Alonso has. So how is he going to convince these players to do that? And especially like Vinny and all these kids, because they're like, oh, we don't want pressure. His whole thing with Liverpool was pressing to the max that they all got asthma because of it. So
Yeah,
how is
it's
he going to get them to do it?
and the coaching jobs right now are pretty thin. That's what I was thinking. If they do fire him, who do they go to? Because the obvious one was is Zidane because he's taken the job multiple times, like in this kind of situation. But like you said, I don't think he takes the job unless it's like a big bag, which they're probably gonna have to offer for him to even consider taking the job. And even then, just for like this season, because like you said, he's probably wants to coach France. Who would they offer? Like realistically, who's the option?
Uh, the two I think that there's most likely going to go with that people won't like, but like it's like the only viable options is Raul because he was a former Castilla coach. He had decent results. I think last year was a good job because it was a weak Castilla team because a lot of the talent was sold off and he basically had to make do. And he got decent results with them, but people don't appreciate that because that was an actual coaching job and wasn't just like them dominating. And he's currently coachless because he left Castilla and then he started looking for options, but he did that rather late. The other one would be Arbeloa, who is being hyped up as like a really good young coach that could potentially lead the team in the future. They might just, be like, oh, well, the future's now. But yeah, those are the two options that I see right now.
Yeah, and even then, I don't think those options are too viable because is it going to be any more different than what Xabi Alonso's doing? Maybe play style wise, but you still have to get through those like giant egos in the locker room, you know? And I think that's right now that's what's hurting Xabi Alonso the most.
Well, yeah, because I think the most viable option would probably be Raul just because even Arbeloa, like he was present at Xabi Alonso's presentation and they were like discussing a lot because they have similar styles and ideas for how to play football. So
Yeah.
they were like, oh, we're gonna bring up this project together for years to come and just like bring up the kids playing the play style that they have envisioned and have them be ready for the first team and it's not translating well to the first team. Because when Xabi Alonso came in, his idea or like what everyone said was like he's just coming in to be a coach, a tactics coach. He's not going to man manage these players and handle egos. But that's what he's had to do since the start of this year, because players can't handle or don't want to do what he wants or follow the tactics, and basically he started had to manage the egos, especially after the Vinny situation, because
Yeah.
then basically Perez came up and he's like, "Oh, you have to handle it because he's for Real Madrid to succeed, Vinny has to play well." And so now he's had to cater to the squad. Even like you mentioned, the thrashing of Athletic Club in midweek with the Rizzo, the only reason he got them to play well, because it was like the first time we saw like everyone pressing, everyone running, and actually like caring about the game, was because he had to dangle a carrot in front of their face and be like, "Oh yeah, if you win, you get 2 days off." And that's the only reason they played well. So a lot of people are criticizing Xabi Alonso, but it's really not his fault.
Hmm.
He's come in and he's implemented this style. Because if you see the players that he's brought in, they've all had success at varying levels and helped like carry the team. Like when they were looking best is because those players were there. Like House and when he was healthy, Carreras, Masantuono. Like they helped keep the system in place that he has envisioned, but with the injuries coming and biting him in the back, like it's hard to get those players that follow his ideals into the squad. Like Guler in his best form, beginning of the year, like we don't see that anymore because he's muddled in between like players' egos.
Yeah. All I know is it's going to be a very hard job, whoever does take it. I'll throw my hat into what would you say, into the circle, whatever you call it. A suggestion would be Eric Ten Hag. No, but there is a bunch of coaches right now: Southgate, Joachim Low, Xavi, Thiago Mota. Well, not Xavi because he will never take the job. Igor Tudor, Ange, Mazzari, Marco Rose. I think probably out of all the names I named, probably Joachim Low was a good one. But then again, it's like the play styles and everything like that. How are you gonna mesh it in? Right now, the best thing for Real Madrid to do is just to keep Xabi Alonso. All these rumors about him potentially getting fired is more damaging. And if that actually does happen, I think that they'll just keep falling down the hole. There'll be more frustrations with the new coach if they don't start winning right away.
Yeah, and it's crazy because a lot of people, it's funny how people are so quick to flip and how social media's impacted them because a lot of this is like games being played with like players' agents. The board's currently split. There's like some that want Xavi out because uh they go along with the players, and then the other half is like, oh, we envision like football this way, and this is what's needed for like Real Madrid to carry on in the future. We just can't keep handling the keys to the players and then just blame it all on the coach. Because sure, like that's what we did last year. Like we were like, oh, Carlo Ancelotti, it was his fault that he couldn't fix a squad, and we got rid of him, and then we brought in Xabi because he's better at tactics, or he showed that. with the past couple of years with Bayern Leverkusen, and he's gonna fix it. Well, he's come in and he's tried to implement those tactics, but because of the control that the players have, it hasn't worked out. And then that's as far as a coach can do. Like they put the line up, they'll tell them the tactics, but the players have to go and deliver. And if they're not doing that, what, what more can you ask of the coach?
Exactly. It's that one good old game. I know the coach's agents is probably playing and trying to save face and like his PR team is working double overtime, but also like you said, the players coaches because one Vinicius is not getting like the best version of himself, so more than likely his PR team is like working double, like oh let's get Xabi out, let's get Xabi out,
Well, you have
and then there's
Vinny
other coaches that
Rodrigo.
yeah there's Rodrigo, Vinny, Endrick, and then there's other players that don't buy into the system. One player you mentioned was Valverde, so maybe his agent's also playing a role into that, but. It's a huge mess. It's a civil war in Real Madrid going on at the moment.
Yeah, and then it also doesn't help that like in the summer again, I mentioned Xabi Alonso wanted more signings. The board said no. He wanted another center back. What do we need right now? More defenders. He wanted a lot more. He wanted to get rid of the dead weight. He wanted to get rid of Mendy. He wanted to get rid of you know,
Alaba.
Alaba. He wanted to get rid of these players that basically are in the squad and taking up space for players that could actually, play and not be in the injury table the entire time. And that's what we need defenders. He wanted a controlling type midfielder like Vitinha in the summer. They said you have that. Where?
So yeah, Xabi Alonso and Real Madrid have a huge task ahead of them next week in La Liga, just because they have new injuries. So what is it?
Militao.
Militao, he's out for three to 4 months with a hamstring tear.
Yeah.
Or two red cards with one Carreras, the other one Fran Garcia. So you don't have your both starting left backs and one of them that can play center back. So they're pretty
And
thin on defensive line.
yep, Mendy's injured, Alaba's injured, Howson's still injured. Who am I missing? Carvajal's injured, Trent's injured. Uh, all four center backs, Rudiger. Rudiger's available.
Hmm. But
Uh,
obviously he's not in his best form at all.
he's coming back off a knock, so he's still 80%, and he's basically forcing himself. Asensio's going to be back. The three other injured center backs, I don't even mention Asensio, yeah, because so it's most likely going to be like that. But there's more likely than not, Castilla players are going to be called up.
It's gonna be a hard ass too, because they're playing at Alaves Stadium. How are they at home? That's what I'm checking right now. So at home, they beat Real Sociedad at home recently. They've lost to Celta Vigo, beat Espanyol. So they have a pretty decent home record. So again, not an easy task because sure the defense, but then your first line of defense, which is the attacking trio, Vinicius specifically, he's gonna have to defend and press. A goal came from him not pressing. So again, it's a huge cleanup job that Real Madrid has to do.
Yeah, and it even shows that like in Xabi Alonso's press conference after the game, he's like the problem was not that he said the biggest problem was that we started playing better when we went back when Fran Garcia got the red card, the first Real Madrid player to get a red card for two silly fouls that like compounded the move because even Xabi Alonso afterwards he was just like pissed because you saw his because it was needless fouls. He's like the biggest problem was that we started playing after we turned to 10 men because there was an urgency in the players. They started playing attacking, more direct.
They actually started pressing.
Yeah, like that was a problem. He's like if we would have done that from the beginning, it would have
They
been
would
better.
have been, yeah, they would have
That would
never
have
been in
been
that situation at all.
Yeah, and then also the problem in the game was that they couldn't finish their chances because they had a couple chances where they should have scored. Like Mbappe had the one where he hit it over. The Gonzalo Garcia came on and then he had header he barely missed. Then
The
like
Guler one, where like it was a sit, I wouldn't say a sitter, but it was a
I
really good chance.
it was a good chance. I Trouble was that it was left behind him, so he had to like the momentum came forward, so it was kind of harder. But yeah, like they had chances, they just couldn't finish any of them.
And yeah, Sociedad took advantage of them. Actually, the whole game, I think Sociedad played pretty decent.
Celta Vigo.
Oh, Celta Vigo, my bad. I'm looking at Sociedad right now. So my bad. Yeah, Celta Vigo played pretty decent. You can see their identity in football and how they're playing. So they had a lot of confidence. It's not easy doing that in the Bernabeu, especially with Real Madrid. That again, they have a really bad record against Real Madrid, but they pulled through. I called them out, spoke to them, gave them a pre-match speech, got their blood pumping and
Yeah, you
running.
told him to play You know what's funny? Because English teams co complain about teams playing defensive against them. In La Liga, we've played a true low block. Like you don't they don't experience it like we do. Like when teams play against Real Madrid and Barcelona, they have 11 people behind the ball. Like they had their striker playing as a CDM basically, and everyone else was in the box covering for them.
Yeah,
Like that
definitely.
that's how
It's
we
a
play.
different kind of low block.
Like they're like, oh, we play a low block. No, this is a low block. Their whole team is there. There's like no striker in the midway point ready for a counterattack. Like the striker is playing basically as a CDM pressuring
Yeah.
while the rest of the team is in the box.
And I want to give a shout out to Brian Zaragoza. He had a fantastic match. I wonder what Bayern Munich's gonna do with him because they still retain his rights. He's only on loan to Celta Vigo. Um, they either got to use him or I think they could sell him and cash in on him. But I think it'll be a hard sell, especially since he's like a Spanish player. They don't really go for too much. And then he's like in a team with Celta Vigo, so not really many people are following him. But I would definitely be excited if Barca brings him to obviously the team because one, we need a left winger. Two, he's a really good left winger that could what's it called? Beat people on the one-on-one. But yeah, he played a fantastic match. The whole squad did. But Jesse, there is a lot of dialogue, especially within the Real Madrid fan base, of the ref being notoriously bad this game.
Yeah, he is bad. It wasn't just this game, but he's been known to be bad in previous games because if you look at other fan bases and you see like the previous games that he's managed, he is really bad and he is also quick to give out cards because if you look at his record, he's given out multiple cards in multiple games already in a row.
Someone similar to that was Mateo Laos. He would give you a red card if you looked at it wrong. But obviously you're coming. I'm saying you guys because you're a Real Madrid fan. You guys are coming into it a different way. One, I don't think the second yellow card for Carreras was bad because he said to the ref, you're bad, you're so fucking bad." You can't
He
say that to the ref. Even though like you said, he probably was because I know like there was one huge controversy of like what the reason he got the yellow card is because he tried to play the ball a little bit ahead, but the ref wanted it back, especially like in the backfield, which it usually doesn't matter and refs don't really care. That was kind of bad, but for you to say that to the ref, you can't say that at all. You're gonna get carded for it.
The problem was that this was and this is the biggest problem is the Spanish league, La Liga, currently has a problem where the refereeing is b very below par, and it's been known. And they've actually tried to do something. And this is one of the solutions they brought up is this ref, because he is a young ref that they've brought up from the second division, and they were trying to like groom him to like help him become like a ref that can handle big matches. And the thing is, he's known to be bad, and this is a problem. And this was shown throughout the game because he never had control of the game because he in the first half he didn't give out like yellow cards really, but he would instead of handling that or like handling the situation where like if there was a foul and like he'll give out a yellow to like set the mood and like players would like know what is up, he let plays let on, but he would constantly call fouls and it would stop the game and slow the pace down a lot. And then he continued that throughout the entire game. So he would slow down play of a lot of the game so many times, and it's very infuriating for a player when they're trying to play the game when he's not giving cards, but he's always slowing the game down for fouls that could be ignored. And he or other situations like you said, like oh, play the ball back in this situation, or like sometimes he would literally the player would be waiting and he just like wait for the field to settle down and then he would do it. So it just slows the game down. And then we were also complaining about the Celta Vigo coach or Celta Vigo goalkeeper because since the first half he was slowly they were playing for like a draw, really. And he would slow the play down because every time he had a goal kick, he would drag since the first half, and he never did anything about it when the players, the coaches, everyone's like, "Oh, he's taking too long," and he never got a warning. He never got anything for it, and so players were very infuriated with his style, and they like made it known. But he like, and that's how the players lost their heads.
As far as like the referee slowing down play, like he doesn't really allow too many. Like you said, it was just continues. stoppages. There's different kinds of refs that do that. There's refs that play on more physical, and there's refs like this guy who likes to play by the rules, a small foul. Because yeah, what I'm seeing people complain about is that, but no one's really complaining about the red cards because they were justified. Well, except for the Carreras one. I think people are more mad about that. But it was justified, and I think they got away with a couple of things because I think Rodrigo could have gotten a red card because he was yelling at the ref and tried to it was chest bumping him a couple of times. There was like he was surrounded by players at the end that he could have given out multiple yellow cards and red cards, but he didn't. He held himself, so he wasn't a bad ref in that sense. Um, again, I if I was Real Madrid, I wouldn't be too happy with so many stoppages. That's probably the worst thing in the world. But again, there's different kinds of refs that do that. There's refs that let you play and refs that don't. But I don't think this ref is going to get another opportunity because,
No, he is.
he
You
is.
know who? Guess what he's coaching, or what? Guess what he's refereeing?
Oh,
The Copa del Rey final. He's in contention for that.
and it's funny because they'll be either Real Madrid, Barcelona, Athletic Club Bilbao, or Atletico Madrid in the final.
Well, no, it'd be if it's a final, it'd be uh because we're playing the brackets out. You guys are playing Athletic Club. We're playing Atletico Madrid. So if it's either a El Clásico or Barcelona versus Atletico Madrid,
I like how you just discounted Athletic Club.
Jerry, the run of form is horrendous.
Yeah, they beat Atletico Madrid this past weekend, which I'm very surprised about. I didn't expect it. But yeah, who knows what happened?
No, but also the another thing, did you not see what he did to Jude?
Oh,
He got a yellow for coming onto the field when he was told he could. At
well,
first, they tried telling him, oh, it was because he didn't have his shirt on. He had his shirt on because they made him go back first, and because they had blood on it because he got elbowed. So he changed it. That's why he took so long. And then he asked the fourth referee, and then he went on. But then the ref said, "Oh, I didn't give permission," so that's why he got the yellow.
yeah, I think that's more on the fourth ref than the main ref.
But they're communicating.
Yeah, that's why like he probably didn't communicate because I think because like you said he came back on. I remember it. He came back on, but it was told to go change his shirt because he was getting attended on. He did, but then I could think the main ref didn't signal him to come back in, and the fourth ref is like, "Oh well, he just told you to come back to change your shirt since you already came out once." But in reality, he came out twice technically because he had to get the shirt. Yeah, I think that's more on the fourth ref. It's annoying, trust me. I get where you're coming from. I don't blame you at all. I'm not calling you crazy, Jesse. I agree with you.
Yeah, man, that's
Not a good weekend for you. And now Real Madrid has they have Man City this week on the Champions League. So again, I think Man City is gonna win, but I don't think it's gonna be a thrashing because Man City has been conceding a lot of goals, especially away. Because is it the Leeds one where they were up? Is that the one where they're up very comfortable?
Leeds?
Was it Leeds or who was it mid game midweek match and like you
The
texted me?
Fulham.
Yeah.
That the one I told you about 4-5.
Yeah, it was 5-1 and then like out of nowhere Fulham just scored 3 goals and you texted me like, "Oh, this is the match of the year." Um so again, Man City not the greatest away, so there's a chance for Real Madrid to win, you know?
Yeah, but the thing is, the defense is still not fixed.
It's not. It's not, but you just have to outscore them, Jesse. And it's gonna
Yeah.
be hard with again with her Haaland in form. But Real Madrid has held Haaland like a couple times. So I
Well,
think they could do it again.
they have his kryptonite. They have Rudiger.
Yeah, Rudiger.
Rudiger is a
And
really
he's a
good matchup for
starter.
him.
He's gonna be
Yeah.
a starter. So again, I think it's possible for Real Madrid to win. It's gonna be hard though.
Yeah.
You need the whole team to press.
Holland is not what I'm worried about. What I'm worried about is Cherki. And then I'm also worried about the late runs from Reiners, Foden. Like these players come in late into the box and getting goals because, the midfield, oh, you know, defending their guy or putting pressure on them for like long shots and things. That's what worries me because that's what the players' quality that Man City has is like they're great at.
Then on top of that, you also have to worry about fatigue.
They
Fatigue is
shouldn't do. They had 2 days off.
yeah, they shouldn't, but Fatigue is, I think, is going to be a major role because again, they came off an Athletic Club win, which they pressured a lot and they played great. But then they came off another loss. Well, they came off a loss against Celta Vigo, where they had a pressure when they had 10 men less. So, well, one last man, not 10 men less, one last man, and they had to run even more. So, I think fatigue's gonna be it's gonna be a key factor. We'll see the second half how Real Madrid does. I think they're gonna be winded. But again, not easy, especially with Doku running at your back line. Can't forget Doku. He's having an incredible season.
What is he gonna be running at Valverde?
Valverde hasn't been his Ballon d'Or self.
Yeah, he should be fine. He should be fine.
Because who's covering for him? More than likely, who plays
It's
left center back?
right-sided center back.
Yeah. Well, it's usually
Depends.
Militao, but
It's it depends because they can move Rudiger there or they could put Asensio there.
and you're probably gonna want to put Asensio because Rudiger's gonna be too busy with Haaland.
Yeah, but then who's gonna lead the back line? Who's gonna play left back?
Carreras. Or does he have a? Is he suspended for this match?
No, he should play, but
I mean, he's not gonna play in the weekend, so might as well go all out, right? Let me see. Injuries: Carvajal, Alaba, Huijsen, Militao, and they are. There's no suspensions. So right now, as FootMob has it, they for some reason have Valverde. Well, they have Valverde right back, Asensio right center back, Carreras left center back, and then Fran Garcia left back. No Rudiger at all in this case.
I think they probably start Rudiger. But it's because, like I said, Rudiger's so not at 100%, so he might. Because even last game, Rudiger came on in the 20th minute because Militao got picked up an injury because he wasn't expected to play.
Hmm.
Because they were the initial plan was, if you noticed on the bench, Joan Martinez was there, the
Yeah,
young prospect. He was supposed to come on and get game time experience second half, and have Militao there to help guide him, have veteran presence. But once Militao got out, there was no chance for him anymore.
no, there's no reason to put him in that situation. But we'll see what happens. Um, I'm looking at their bench right now. Yeah, it's looking chalk. Because I think they also have not even a defense issue, they also have a midfield issue. Because they're trying to fit Bellingham with Arda Güler, but they're leaving Bellingham central but pushing Arda Güler to the right, which I don't agree with. I think Güler plays better at the 10 role. But then again, they don't want Jude that far out because he attacks the box so well.
Well, no, during the game against Celta Vigo, he was actually playing on the right most of the time, or in the first half, he was rotating there a lot.
Who, Jude?
Yeah. Him and Gula were rotating a lot. Like sometimes you will notice that Drew was even on the right wing,
Yeah.
and they had a couple of chances. Even Gula, he did rotate there, and then he had like one chance where he was up against like the goalie. But the problem was that there was no one in the box, or like there was insufficient numbers, or Mbappe was there, but he's not going for a header,
No, he's not.
so there's not a lot of reason to do wing play. But the
Yeah.
reason why there is wing play is to just stretch out the defense.
Yeah. Real Madrid just has a huge imbalance in the squad because they have multiple players playing the same position. Arda Güler, Bellingham, it's same as Vinicius and Mbappe, and Rodrigo on top of that.
Well, yeah, that's what also the problem. A lot of people say, why doesn't he play Rodrigo? Like he put in Rodrigo last game to play right wing, and then he showed exactly why he doesn't play him. He started moving more closer towards the middle, towards the left wing, and then again, it just left that it made the field smaller because everyone's like congested, and that's why he wants a natural right wing. That's why Antonio would play or Brahim Diaz, but Brahim Diaz's form has gone down a lot.
Yeah.
And he wants that field stretch so players can have space. But Rodrigo kept on moving there, and then Gonzalo Garcia was basically playing CM because there was a lack of players.
See, if I was Xabi Alonso, I'd just straight up play Mbappe on the left, Endrick at striker, and on the right wing, probably play Brahim Diaz in a perfect world. Bench Jude, put uh Camavinga and Tchouaméni at CDMs, and then Arda Güler is the 10.
Well, Camavinga missed the weekend because remember he had that knock.
Oh yeah, that's why like in a perfect world, like no injuries, everyone's in good form, like start of the season thing. And just sell out that weight, which is Vinicius Rodrigo. I think if Endrick didn't join Real Madrid and went to Barca instead, he would be right now the star striker. There's no doubt about it because he the competition he had was Lewandowski, and like think about it, this year Lewandowski was out for 2 months. Easy striker role. Last year when we needed rotation, Endrick would have been the starting striker instead of Ferran Torres. Same thing. So these are the decisions you have to make as a footballer, and they have to be smart. And you have to make sure you get playing time and go to a team that, yeah, I think playing time is the best thing.
Well, it's tough because we've seen it from both sides because you guys had Victor Roque and like people can promise you that, but sometimes it just doesn't, the coach doesn't like you. Sometimes the situation doesn't allow it, or sometimes the play style doesn't fit. It's tough because it all just depends on luck, really, sometimes because you can make the move and be like, oh, this is my big move, and then it doesn't work out with that club. And sometimes you just need to move away. Like multiple people, like KDB, he went to Chelsea, big move.
Moncoko,
Yeah. Uh
Nkunku, whatever his name is.
and Cuckoo. Yeah.
The Dortmund player. He was like the 16-year-old striker, remember?
Oh, Mo, yeah, Mo,
Mukoko.
Gon, yeah, Monkoku or wherever he was like supposed to be a star, hasn't been.
Hmm.
Like it all just depends on the situation sometimes.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, Barcelona top of the league. I'll go over real quick before the Zoom cuts off. Um, Conceded right away, which sucks. But then Ferran Torres turns into himself and scores 2 goals instantly. Uh, Bargi had a great game when he started. They played Lamine as a 10. And then Ferran finally completed his hat trick after Bargi's goal. But yeah, they were up 5-1 comfortably because they got a really, I want to say a really bad penalty call in the weekend. I don't know if you saw it. It was like
The
they
one for
call,
Betis,
yeah, against Betis.
the one
The
that
one
they got
Barca,
right.
yeah, the one Barca got, like it hit his body and then hit his hand, but the refs determined that his hand was too high, so they gave him a penalty. But I'm like, it came off a deflection from his body, so I don't think that should have been a penalty. But they gave it. Is what it is. We can't do anything about it. But yeah, other than that, Barca won comfortably. They conceded 2 more goals, but like Hansi Flick said, his players were exhausted at that point. Like it makes sense the way they didn't want to pressure, so he wasn't too concerned about it. But yeah, with that win, then Real Madrid lost, Atletico Madrid lost, Villarreal actually won. Barcelona are sitting 4 points on top of the league at the moment. It's still becoming a pretty close La Liga at the moment.
Well, Villarreal, because we have a game in hand, they could move 2 points behind you guys.
Yeah, definitely. They're facing Levante next week. Barcelona's facing Osasuna. Again, Real Madrid facing Deportivo Alavés. And Atletico Madrid facing Valencia. Again, this is two back-to-back losses for Atletico Madrid. We've said it. They start off slow, get hot, and then they again going back for them. This is like their story.
While we're in Barca, there's a lot of rumors going around that you guys are gonna sell Ronnie Bargi to get funds to get a player.
Yeah, the rumor was that he was unhappy because he at first when the season started, he was playing on what is it, the third division team at the moment, Barca B. And he came out and said, like, no, I didn't come to this club so I could be in the B team and play in the third division. I was playing first division with Copenhagen. I want to come here. Was it Copenhagen? And he said, I want to come here and I want to start. So he went 5 games without even seeing like rotational minutes. And then he comes to this game starting and he does well. So I don't think he'll get sold, Jesse. Right now, the biggest one is Ronald Araujo. He is not right mentally, and they're saying that this is the last game with Chelsea was the last time he wore the Barca kit, and he's more than likely going to be sold off in January. Just because, yeah, I think the pressure is bouncing onto him, and he's blaming himself a lot on the loss, which I blame him too. But he could only hope he gets better for his mental health. But yeah, Bargy, dude, you saw the edit I sent you on TikTok? He's your boy, dude.
TikTok.
He's a Naruto fan.
Oh, I did see that. I did see that, but it wasn't the Naruto character I like,
It
so I
was
didn't care.
who was it? That wasn't Sasuke? I don't watch Naruto, so
I don't think it was Sasuke. I think it was someone else.
I don't know. He
I can't remember.
my boy's a huge anime fan. He's doing awesome anime celebration, so You know those edits are gonna go hard. But yeah, he had a great showing. Got two assists. No, he got one assist and a goal. So you can't ask anything for anything better. He could have got another assist, but he got a little selfish and shot. But it is what it is. That's what happens when you're up like 4-1, 5-1.
All right, guys, moving on to Champions League. We previously talked about Man City, Real Madrid. It's probably going to be the most looked at match this week because of the consequences of depending on the match can lead to.
Yeah. There's also a lot of great other matchups too. It's a lot of the top, like what would you say, top 15, top 18 teams? Top
Yeah, it's a
24,
lot
I
of
guess.
yeah, it's like a lot of points where the table is drastically going to change after this week. A lot of teams are either going to drop points, gain ground on like people above them, or like, free fall.
And Barcelona, I'm looking at you, dude. We just have to beat Frankfurt, win our match, and then like again, like I'm gonna name it off. Bayern Munich and Sporting, two teams in the top 10 or top 8, they're facing each other. So they're gonna be drop points. Atalanta, Chelsea, again, the top 10 teams. There's gonna be drop points. Inter, Liverpool. Well, Liverpool's kind of in the they're like 14th or something. But yeah, again, a lot of drop points. Barcelona need to gain ground and go back to at least make get a decent matchup in the playoff rounds. Because yeah, I don't think they're gonna make top eight. Top eight. A lot of things have to go good for them. But yeah, we'll start off with the matches. Bayern Munich Sporting. Who do you think wins this?
I think it's Bayern Munich. I think it's like a 3-0, 4-0.
Yeah, me too. I'm with you. I think Harry can get the hat trick. Wild called, but I think he gets a hat trick.
Yeah, especially because they're playing at home.
Yeah, that Alliance Arena is something different. Atalanta Chelsea.
This is a tough one. Chelsea is in horrendous form, like you've mentioned, after their Barca win. But for some reason, they look like they played better in Champions League. And but Atalanta's not too far off. They're decent. They're 12th in the table. They're not doing too hot in Serie A, so they might put their focus in the Champions League. So I'll give this one a draw, like 2-2.
Yeah, this is a hard matchup for Atalanta because I'm looking back at them. So they have a decent home record since they fired their coach. They beat Frankfurt away. They beat Marseille, who we thought was going to be a low-key good team, and they beat Marseille away as well. I think Atalanta wins this game because of the inconsistency from Chelsea. You beat Barcelona, and then you think you're the top team in the world, and then you just go on a really bad losing streak or like just winless streak. So this is what happens, Jesse. We give people overconfidence.
Is that
Um,
how you win?
yeah.
Lose?
It's a mental game, Jesse. We lose this so they could win. It's more damaging to them for them to win than for us to lose. Then Barcelona, Frankfurt. Barcelona's playing at home. There's history between these two clubs because they faced each other in the Europa League last time. Barca was playing at home. Frankfurt fans found ways to become socios and get tickets for that match, and that pretty much became a 50-50 split between Frankfurt fans and Barca fans
It,
at the
it was
Camp
a ho
Nou.
it was a home match for them. Let's be honest here.
Yeah, I'll be honest, just because yeah, they took their ultras, I guess you would say. Um, so yeah, they're trying to do the same thing again. Hopefully, Barcelona. I think Barcelona's on top of this time, so we'll see. I got Barca winning 4-0.
It's a tough one. They have a lot of young prospects that are being linked to move away. Like we've seen it now for a couple of transfer windows. They have really great players that get those big money moves. Like we've seen it for like the past what 3 transfer windows. Again, they have Nathaniel Brown who's linked to like everyone, their left back. Uh Nav, he's also been linked with a big move. Hugo Larson. They have a lot of young talent there. They get a draw.
Hate watch. Inter versus Liverpool. Liverpool, who we'll talk about it now, actually. Salah has came out and slammed Arne Slot for being benched and saying that he doesn't need to fight for his role for everything he did for the club.
Yeah, he says that he's being made the scapegoat for their troubles and that it's not his fault.
I don't know. They've been scoring goals since he's been benched.
But you know what's funny? This is the third game he's been benched, right? The first two, what happened? I think they won those two, and this one they had a better result where they drew, which was 3-3.
And they were up 3-1.
Yeah, so not anything he could do about it, really. So it's funny how he comes out for when, the emotions are low for Liverpool fans to come out and do this, so he might l be looked at a better light. It's like how Jamie Carragher previously said, "Oh, it's funny how he only does this for theatrics or like strategically, so he comes out in the best po possible situation." Because again, even if he is benched in a week, he's going to be going to AFCON, so it wouldn't really matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Again, it's Hardy's not going to be placed in a tough spot. I don't think it'll be a tough spot. I think he's pretty clear because he actually came out today and said that my reaction is clear about the whole Mo Salah thing. So we'll see what happens with that situation. Again, we knew this was kind of going to happen. Your top paid player, a historic player, is being benched. He's not going to be happy about it. He's going to become vocal. He did. But we'll see what they do in the Champions League because they have been getting good results in the Champions League. Well, somewhat good results, you know. They beat Real
Well,
Madrid,
well, when they benched Salah, I remember they also looked better, and Wirtz looks better or more comfortable in the Champions League. So, and especially without having the handcuff of Salah, he might look good again.
but for this match against Inter Milan at the San Siro, I got Inter Milan winning just because I think Liverpool's like not bench, their locker room is gonna break.
I wouldn't say that. I would say the biggest problem is still their defense, which has yet to be resolved because Konate is in horrendous form because he is partly responsible for that, collapse against Leeds where they gave up 2 goals. Like he gave up a needless penalty. His positioning has been bad, but also Van Dijk has not looked what he's known for being like a great center back or like how people say one of the best center backs of all time. He has not looked at. So I think the defense is still the problem. I think they're starting to figure out offensively. Etequite looked great. Uh, yeah, I still give it to Inter though.
Monaco versus Galatasaray.
I'll give it to Monaco. They're in good
Like
form.
I give it to Galatasaray. Monaco's not in good form in
Dude,
Champions League.
They got Pogba back.
And so I'll be fine if they lose. I don't mind if my prediction's wrong, but until Pogba starts putting back-to-back great matches, then I'll believe. Then we have PSV versus Atletico Madrid. Again, we briefly mentioned how Atletico Madrid is hot, cold. Right now they're cold. I got PSV.
They're gonna get it just because, like we said, they're hot and cold. So they're cold and now they can be hot.
So you got Atletico.
Yeah.
Tottenham versus Slavia Prague. I don't like betting on this match or even predicting because Tottenham, another inconsistent team.
No, I don't even, I think they go even beyond inconsistent because there's like there's no word for it, but they're beyond it because they make no sense.
I think Kolo Muani is going to start, and I think they win. So I'm going to go Tottenham.
Yeah, I don't know. Thomas Frank has decided if he finally decides to start playing his best players again, then maybe, yeah.
Then USG versus Marseille.
The Gillespie or Gillespie or
Gold Union Saint Gilloise.
yeah, that one. The Belgium one. Uh,
Give me Marseille.
I'll go with draw. Let's be different. It's not like it matters.
Villarreal versus Copenhagen.
Villarreal.
Yeah, I'm with you too. Athletic Club versus PSG. Give me PSG. You know what? No, let me go Athletic Club. They beat Atletico Madrid. Maybe they have some confidence, but PSG has not looked themselves since winning the Champions League.
They have not, but I also give them PSG.
Hey, I'm just going shooting for the stars. Leverkusen, Newcastle. A good match. Newcastle's been hot. Leverkusen has been pretty decent since they fired Ten Hag. So I'm going with Leverkusen.
I'll go Newcastle.
Benfica versus Napoli.
Benfica.
Mm. They're both pretty bad right now in the Champions League. They both desperately need this win. Napoli, well, Benfica more than Napoli because Napoli's in the has 7 points. I'll go draw.
Okay.
Dortmund versus Bodo Glimt.
Dortmund.
Same. Again, surprisingly, Dortmund's been surprisingly very good in the Champions League. We thought they weren't gonna make any noise, but they're top six at the moment.
Club
Uh,
Brugge versus Arsenal.
yeah, I was gonna say you're waiting for this one to come through.
Before we on air, we were discussing this one, and I am like, Bottle Glint, they can do it again. They're at home, and then we found out they fired their coach
No,
yesterday.
Club Brugge, Club Brugge.
Club Brugge, yeah, the Club Brugge. We found out they fired their coach yesterday. So you know what? It's gonna be that honeymoon period. He's gonna be have that feel good moment. He's gonna beat Arsenal, or at least draw.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Club Brugge because they have been giving teams trouble. Barcelona being one of them, so they have been breaking lines. Um, yeah, we'll see how they go. Juventus versus Pafos.
Yildiz.
Same, I'm with you. There's no arguing there. Juventus easily wins. Real Madrid versus Man City. What's the scoreline, Jesse? I know you're picking Real Madrid.
Uh, Give me a 3-2.
I got Man City winning 4-1. And Man City's gonna make me look like a genius because in the summer, I made a bold prediction saying that Xabi Alonso's gonna get fired in December. This is his last match as a Real Madrid coach. I don't know who they get from here, but it's not gonna be Xabi Alonso. He's not gonna be the coach any longer. Give me Man City thrashing him 4-1. Cherki hat trick of assists.
That's if he starts.
So that's our Champions League predictions. Yeah, it's gonna be. We finally get a good week of Champions League matches, Jesse, that have like pretty high stakes on them. Like again, top teams facing each other, so it's gonna be exciting to watch. Um, before we end the episode, we do have the Premier League. There's been a little bit of a stir up.
Oh, but
Uh,
before that, sticking with the Champions League, make sure you watch out for tomorrow because you know how we mentioned Mo Salah coming out and like talking bad, about the coach and like how he's being treated. He also mentioned Jamie Carragher. He said, "Watch tomorrow, Jamie Carragher say something about me." Uh, so I wouldn't be surprised if he responds to them again in the what's it called, the Champions League show.
yeah, the Golazo show.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he makes a comment there. So see if he pours more gasoline on the fire.
Oh, I'm gonna be watching the preview for that just to see what he says.
Yep.
If you don't have if you don't have Paramount Plus, you can watch it on YouTube the day after. They post the whole show, the I think the pre-match show and the post show. So, well, I'm pretty sure you're gonna see quotes about it all over Twitter. So it's gonna be interesting. Yeah, in the Premier League, there's been a shakeup. Arsenal has lost against Aston Villa as we predicted.
Yeah.
They are now 2 points ahead
Of
in
Man
the
City.
table.
Yeah,
Yeah,
dude, we said it. It was a given. If you didn't put money on it, that's on you. There were great odds for you, and you threw away money.
yeah, Man City won their match, so that makes them 2 points behind Arsenal. Aston Villa won, of course. They're now the 3 points behind first place, which, of course, they're playing an amazing campaign with Arsenal's ex-manager, Unai Emery.
Yeah, before Mikel Arteta, who really didn't get a chance.
Yeah, he didn't at all. And by the way, when he was sacked from Arsenal, he went to Villarreal and won the Europa League. If you guys don't remember that, they could have won that for you at Arsenal, but of course, you guys settle for mediocrity and you don't win it. Chelsea's in fifth, Man U's in sixth, which they gotta win. Again, they're like they're draw, loss, win, draw, win.
Does that count as three? Does the guy cut his hair if they win two
Nah,
more?
he said five in a row. If he was an Aston Villa fan, he would have had his
It-
haircut by now.
yeah, but he unfortunately chose to hate his life and be a Man U fan.
Surprisingly, who's after Man U in seventh place is Everton. Remember, Everton was about to get relegated? Now they're in top 10.
Yeah, they've had a great run of form. They've been winning.
That new
Yeah, dude.
stadium, dude, is bringing them good luck.
Yeah, they were in relegation, so now they're not.
And then I think it's kind of safe to say Liverpool is not in contention for the title at all. They're 10 points behind in 10th place. Right behind them is Tottenham with 22 points. We honestly thought it was be a better campaign from Tottenham, of course, because they didn't have the Champions. Well, they do have the Champions League, but you know, do you think you'd go to bigger and better things if you fired a coach that won you your first trophy in a long time?
Yeah, but
Be
no,
better,
it's
better.
crazy how that doesn't work out, you know?
And then Newcastle, they're chipping away slowly. They're slowly getting their form. Again, they won three out of their five matches, draw once and lost one. So we'll see how that goes. And then West Ham, oh my God, they're digging deep in that hole. They're in 18th place right now. It's not super scary. They've been getting draws at least compared to the last two who have been losing straight up. But their next match is against Aston Villa, and it's again a Villa team who's insanely good right now.
Yeah.
Any other news, Jesse? Or any things you wanted to talk about?
Uh, no, all my sports teams lost in the weekend, so nothing I want to remember.
Man, what'd you think of that Bears game at the end, the final
But
play?
it was pain. It just brought back memories of getting beat by them year after year. It just hurt. It just really hurt. You know, it's what they say, hope is the worst thing because it makes it
Jesus,
more
that's
painful.
so morbid. Man. I was one of those guys that are saying that DJ Moore was open, which he was, but I do see why he made the play because I was watching what some people review the final play. And if he did see Komet, he saw Komet, but he hesitated to throw it, and that's what caused the safety to go back and intercept it. So if he threw it earlier, he would have got the touchdown, but is what it is. We had a really bad first half. Um, I think if we did a lot better in the first half, we would have easily won.
But a lot of people were questioning the play call for it. I don't think it was a wrong play call because even like you said, even if he intercepted it, I think if he just executes the ball better, like the throw, because he underthrew it, and if you realize a command like he had so much open space behind him, if he just threw it a little bit higher, I think it's just a touchdown, and then we're talking about a completely different game, a different situation.
I think Mario said it that they think that he thought that they should have just ran it to get extra downs, and then again that he I do agree with the point of him that they milked the clock too much, and they kind of like shot themselves in the foot with that. As far as the run, I didn't mind. Again, I don't mind the play call because two players got open. You just didn't hit the guy, and that's it. Um, because yeah, obviously I think the Packers were expecting the run play. There's no doubt about it. And they surprised them with that. Because again, that was busted coverage, but the safety just read the play. Caleb hesitated to throw it and got intercepted. And like you, he probably should have threw it higher, further back. Because again, Komet is a big guy. He could have got it. It's okay. They have to come here to Chicago in 2 weeks, so we got them there.
Just hurts, man. It just hurts.
Yeah, it would have been nice to be 2-0 in Lambeau for Caleb.
Yeah, and it just hurts more because you know how everyone is talking about them now. It's like, oh, we knew it. They were always looking for a reason, and they finally got like this small one, and now they're just dragging it out.
Hey man, is what it is. I don't think the Packers have they been scored on this many points before?
Mm.
Yeah, the Cowboys. But that was in overtime. But again, we put up a fight. Again, if we have our linebackers, we would have won, and our defense would have been a lot better.
Well, first of all, we still need that pass rusher that I've been saying we've needed for a while because we need to put more pressure on the quarterback. But also remember, our corners were still missing because Gordon was missing for he got hurt, so he was also out.
Yeah, Gordon was out. I think our pass rush did decent, but yeah, it would be great to have another one other than Sweat. And again, I think the linebackers are huge because they stopped the run a lot. So, and Josh Jacobs he had a pretty decent game. So again, could have been better. Hey, I don't mind it. It was a close game. We're used to. like the Packers blowing us out, but I know
No,
they
I
were
still hate
sweating.
it. I
I know
still hate it, dude.
I saw a very level-headed Packers fan on TikTok saying like I don't want to face the Bears again because Jesus Christ, like Caleb, you keep knocking him down, and he keeps coming back. So we're instilling fear, Jesse. They're not getting used to it.
No, it's awful. I hate them.
All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. This has been episode 90. Make sure to like and subscribe and send this to a friend. Remember, bear down.